Hey, welcome back. After covering the value proposition canvas in detail in our previous videos, let's close this section with a brief case study or example about the value proposition canvas. And as with other examples, we will use our online courses as the foundation of it. You remember, covering the empathy map canvas, we had identified 3 different customer groups for our product or service that we want to deliver. First of all, we had the practitioners. Second, we had HR people. And third, we had consultants. In this part, I want to solemnly focus on the consultants. With regards to the value proposition canvas, we will now start with the jobs to be done, then head over to the pains, the gains, and ultimately move from the right-hand side to the left-hand side, meaning from the customer profile to the value map. So let's start with the jobs to be done. In the case of the consultants, we remember they had a functional job to be done, which is learn a new methodology. By now, we also know that we should look at some emotional or social jobs. An emotional job in their case can be that they are confident whenever they run a client project, run a workshop, or pitch for a specific project. Social jobs could be that their clients believe that they're good or that they look good in front of their own peers that work at the same consultancy. We also learned that it's valuable that you deep dive with regards to some of those jobs that you have identified. For example, why do they want to learn a new methodology? We see more and more of these consulting companies realizing that there is tremendous growth in the area of Agile and Scrum. So they want to make sure that their company can grow with the overall industry growing as well. You can do a further deep dive understanding why they want to grow, which usually then results to some kind of personal incentives they might have. Now let's look at the pains of these specific consultants. Whenever I ran a workshop for a group of consultants, we realized that there were a ton of things that didn't go as well as we thought they would go. For example, on the day of the training, suddenly some people dropped out. Why? Because there was some urgent client demand and they couldn't make the training. Others had to constantly go in and out of the training because they still had to take some urgent calls. And again, some others lacked the ability to debrief whatever we had covered in those times that they had missed. Moving from pains to gains, again, you remember, we might do the mistake of just stating the opposite. So the opposite of I had to jump in and out of the training could be I can run the training at my own pace. But that actually would be a value proposition that matches or connects to that specific pain. So let's look at a different type of gain. And one different type of gain could be that the consultants have something in their hand that they can also share with their customers, which they can't do with a regular or traditional workshop that we used to run with them. Now that we have created a good understanding of our customer profile, let's move to the value map. And of course, the product or service that we had in mind were our online courses. And now we can see how the pains and gains are connected to the pain relievers and the gain creators that we have. Let's start with the pain relievers. Our online course being online also means that the people don't have to travel, which used to be one of the pains that they had. An online course being self-paced also means that no matter if they have a client emergency or not, they can take the full course. On the side of the gains, an online course can be something that the consultancy takes into their own portfolio and sells to their client, maybe even making a commission on it. Now that we've completed our value proposition canvas, you can see how valuable the initial creation of the empathy map canvas can be. Because once you've done that, you can fairly easily create your customer profile, being the jobs, pains, and gains. In contrast to the empathy map canvas, where I recommended you to have all of your customers in the same empathy map, I would recommend to have a customer profile for each of your customer segments. Finally, you create a clear connection between the jobs, pains, and gains that you have prioritized and the value proposition being the product or service that you have in mind for this specific customer group. I hope this example gave you a great understanding of the value proposition canvas, makes the concept of the value proposition canvas tangible, and helps you transfer this to your own environment. I'll see you in our next video.